Yeah.
Good?
Hell yeah. Good morning, Roll Gang, and welcome on in to this uber special episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. We got my guy, the king of culture and cannabis, JC Coates, here on the show.
Let's go!
Let's go! What's up this morning? So good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Damn, you had your pump already this morning?
I have been in the gym already this morning, yes.
You're a grinder, the absolute pinnacle of Motivational Monday. So pumped to have you here this beautiful Motivational Monday. A little wet out in Vegas.
Which makes it nice, honestly, right?
Honestly.
I like it.
Me too. It's a great change up. Cools it off a little bit. Get a little bit of moisture in the air because it's normally so dry. But
the nice smell of wet concrete.
Yeah, there is a smell to it for sure. But yo, so excited to have JC on the show this morning. If you guys don't know culture and cannabis, I'm not quite sure where you've been, but come on out from under that rock and discover this. I mean, it's an unbelievable brand, media mogul, cannabis news, events, and the most unbelievable products. Like, you guys have such an amazing line of culture goodies. Yo, can you just real quick give the Roll Gang a synopsis of what is culture and cannabis to the king himself?
Yeah. So, I mean, just plainly put, right, we're a media group and then we have products also.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's just a really simple way to put it, but we didn't always have products, right? And we weren't always a bunch of media, right? And so we started with just an event, and I knew that we wanted to grow our media platform to have more communication and more influence. And so we would layer on different media, types, like different, like writers, podcasts, bigger events, more products, all that. And so we've been into the process now for about 8 years. So what started as a free event in downtown Las Vegas on a monthly basis for 4 years has now grown into, we have giant events around, the national conventions that come to town. We have products sold in 3 different states. And we're just trying to do, just leave the biggest positive impact that we can.
Yo. And you have been doing that since the birth of this amazing brand. Just absolutely so excited to dive into the birth of culture and cannabis this morning with the founder and owner himself, JC. But also, gotta give a major shout out to a huge friend of the show and JC's better half, Leilani Joy. Yo, she came on the show and she's an absolute pleasure to be around. You guys are such a power couple. Like, how's she doing?
She's good. She's, God bless her, right? Like, and my other partners too, Tony and Chuck, they're not here. It's like, as much impact as we're having, it's like, I'm team made, right? I can't do any of this without the team that we've made, and
dream team.
And bless Leilani's heart, because when you create these things, when you go on these journeys, right, it doesn't click overnight, right? You don't become successful overnight, and it's really hard in the beginning, and Leilani Joy has been with me in that entire process, right? Of me, like, just coming up with these ideas, and then going through the process of, like, is it going to work? Can I do this, right? And then the whole creation process to where it gets to where it's finally successful. And yeah, thank God Leilani has been there by my side during those those times.
Yeah. Yo, huge shout out Leilani. Huge shout out to the sponsors of the show this morning. They make it happen for the Roll Gang, make the show possible. First and foremost, Leilani's baby. This Joy Fuel, I'm about halfway through my first bottle. I can't wait to crack this one open. I play a ton of, we're about our fitness, and recovery's mad important for people that utilize their body and want to make sure that their body withstands the test of time. Joy Fuel, just, making it possible to manage your pain and your recovery.
Yeah.
And just a magical elixir for all types of all types of pain. Muscle pain is what I use it for.
Yes.
Holy shit! You use it after you pump?
I use it. I use it a lot for my headaches. But I use it. I have a lot of like neck pain sometimes, and like just like tension through here. I use it.
Yeah.
But it's cool to be able to like we have so much fun in the cannabis industry, and there's so much fun to have. But it's really dope to be able to tap into the medical side of the plant and be able to kind of strike in that way. It seems to have a lot of purpose for us, and we really enjoy it.
Yeah, it is amazing. And also, shout out to other sponsors of the show, Oaksterdam University, the first ever cannabis college. If you're trying to gain your cannabis industry, claim your stake in this beautiful industry, Oaksterdam University is a great way. Use promo code Rolling Spoon for 10% off your tuition. But anyways, today is Culture in Cannabis episode brought to you by this magical brand that JC and his dream team have been putting together for a couple years now. Instagram's being a little bit of a jerk right now, bullying all the cannabis companies. I don't know how legit if you're legit in the cannabis industry, you're getting heckled by Instagram, but we're gonna get at Culture and Cannabis back up and running, right?
Yeah, hopefully it should be up next week. We're going through the appeals process, but what he's talking about, we did get shut down again, supposedly, community guidelines, but, I don't really know how it works. I assume that they have, like, an algorithm, and then it just kind of goes through, and so sometimes it'll just, like, flag one of our posts that are, like, 2 or 3 years old, and then we'll get a notification the next day we'll be shut down.
Oh.
So, it's frustrating, but, at the end of the day, Instagram is free. So it doesn't really cost us a lot to do it. So, hopefully we'll be able to get it back this week.
Yeah, because honestly, your page, your brand is a lot more than just, like you said, it started with events, into products and media. But the realistic thing is it's great influence on people that are trying to really take interest in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
Culture in Cannabis has been an icon for the ritual and romance of this beautiful industry. You kind of like to connect the industry together and bring everybody to, honestly, your parties are legendary. Absolutely legendary. Like, nobody knows how to throw down like the Culture Squad. Tell me about like the first Culture in Cannabis event and how like it started to get popping like this.
Yeah, so I mean the first one was super popping, but like so I had I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? But I spent like a lifetime of working at jobs that I hated. But I also did events all through that time. And I understood, like I started doing events like in the late 90s. So I've had a long time of doing events, and I was actually doing events but in a different genre the time cannabis became legal here in Nevada. And I was doing them like on the strip. They were like DJ style events. And we were also doing like small business mixer events. But they were like dope. They were like, I always hated like going to like business mixers.
Yeah.
It was just like, the anxiety of meeting new people and just like, but I also knew that there was like a lot of value in networking, right? And
exactly.
So at that time we had created this really dope mixer that was called Networking and Informative, and it would move to a different rooftop Vegas venue every month. And we have DJs, and it was free. And it was like, if you were starting, to get your side hustle up and running, this is the place where you go to, right?
Yeah.
And about that time, it was like 2015, Piso's dispensary came to one of our events. And they were like, JC, these events are dope. We're faced with a lot of like guidelines by the mayor, by the state in the way that we can promote our dispensary. Would you be willing to produce an event for us to help us get more patients to our store?
Wow.
And I was like, yes, of course I would do that. Right?
Yeah,
and so
perfect.
That was like kind of like our first cannabis client for our marketing agency at the time. It was a different time than it is now. There was a lot of still kind of gray area. A lot of the license holders didn't really, not a lot, but some of them didn't really understand the implications of staying super compliant, right?
Yeah,
or maybe I should put it like this: like the fear that the CCB has on the license holders today didn't necessarily exist then, right?
Yeah,
because
wasn't as strong.
Well, they hadn't flexed as hard yet because it was all brand new, right? And so the reason I brought that up is because we were kind of like, pushing the boundaries a little bit with our first event because, what we did is it was free. I always love to do free events. Free events for me are always really important. We still stick to that today.
Yeah.
But it was free tacos and it was free weed if you registered. And so like it blew up, right? It was in
everyone's there.
It was in the art district at a place called Institution in 2015, and this was before like there wasn't any like community based events really. You know what I mean? So there wasn't like this like everybody knows each other like they do now. So it's just really new. But when I did that event, I paid attention to like the metrics, right? Not to geek out on you about event marketing, but like just like the way that people responded to the posts in the Facebook event.
Yeah.
And then the way that the community responded to the attendance and all that stuff. I recognized after that event, because we had the event, it was amazing. There was like 1,000 people there. And I was like, this is something special. Right?
Very.
I had been doing events for 20 plus years already. I was basically washed up promoter, to be honest with you, right? Because doing events and DJ events, like there's just not a lot of like, it's really hard to win. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can only throw like DJ parties for so long, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like on my way out of being like, because I was kind of just unfulfilled for doing events, right? But then I did this event. I was like, wait a minute, this event is special. The people are special. The way that the reactions are special. This plant is special. And not only that, it was like, when I was doing the DJ events, we were selling like, alcohol and people were taking drugs. So people were like, the effect of the things that they were getting from the event wasn't necessarily positive.
Right.
And so it was like some people were getting like, really bad hangovers and drug addictions and all that stuff on the other event path. But this, I was noticing that like, first of all, it wasn't just kids. It was like a broad spectrum of like all kinds of people. And people were there like consuming cannabis to help them get to a better place. And because of that, it like directly like re-energized my fulfillment level to do events again.
Because of the positive impact.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, it makes all the difference in the world to be able to spread love like that. You're a great guy, and it wouldn't fulfill you to create a environment where people could just get fucked up. Like you wanted to create a community of love and respect.
Well, honestly, it was like that's what I learned from the process, right? Like I was a promoter and a VIP host on the Strip, and I had like some really cool jobs, and I DJ'd, with some really awesome, house DJs that everyone knows, household names, but it was never fulfilled, right? And I never knew why, right? And because of like what I learned through cannabis and the way that the product impacts the consumer, right, has a direct correlation to my fulfillment level, right? And so that it just hit me that, and like what I said, I was like, here I was, slinging alcohol and drug parties essentially, and so the effect that the product was having on the consumer, was a negative one, and that directly had my fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like that's where it just kind of clicked. I was like, I want to be able to go down a path and do events and create products, excuse me, that actually have a positive impact on them because it makes me happy. Right?
Yeah, that's massive. Honestly, what a mission, and I can't even believe how successful a journey it's been. Like you really have touched. Not only like I can 100% speak for myself. Your positive impact of you and your brand has had on me alone is incredible, and I can't imagine the profound impact of having an outlet for the positive energy. And cannabis is such a special plant.
Right.
Like it connects people on a different level. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, did that just hit? Was that probably the perfect match in the?
Well, I think when you're building something, right, you need to be able to have commitment, and you need to have purpose, right? Because when you're building something, especially being an entrepreneur, it's fucking hard, right? Especially when you don't have money and you don't have like a lot of resources, you're going to be faced with a lot of obstacles, right? And most of the time, if you don't have a strong purpose, that purpose is not going to be able to pull you through all the obstacles that you have to
the adversity,
overcome, right? And so because I was able to find the purpose quickly along this journey, I was able to stay committed through all the shit that you have to go through in this crazy industry.
What's that purpose? What was that? Why?
The people, right, and the positivity, and how the cannabis plant was helping people. I just wanted to be a part of that.
Bars. It's absolutely magical, and like your commitment is like having its return. Fighting that adversity is. You're right. You have to have a why that's rock firm through the heaviest of turbulence.
Yes.
Because shit, it is going to be tested.
Yes.
Definitively. And honestly, you just picked such a clean why. The community and the love, it'll always lead you in the right direction. And man, like that's kind of what gravitized me towards your brand and towards you and Leilani and Full-Time Tony and the whole squad. And just absolutely pleasureful to be able to see what you guys do and go to your events. And you guys got such good media on your site, and the products are amazing. Like you said, 3 states now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So California, Oklahoma, and Nevada?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which do you have to go back and forth and manage?
Yeah, so Oklahoma's been really, really tough, and we probably are about to fully pull out, just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We're out there. We'll still have products kind of lingering out there, but yeah, I did have to go out there on a monthly basis. And, the thing about cannabis, the landscape nationally, is when you do expand to a different state, it's not like doing business in the state that you just came from, because those laws in that state are different, so you have to get down differently. Also.
Completely.
And so, like, the landscape in Oklahoma makes it really tough for everybody right now. The market is kind of a mess. It's not recreational yet, and they didn't put. There's just, weed basically grows wild by the river in Oklahoma. you know what I'm saying? So it's like there's not like the supply and demand thing is really not there, right? There's like so much. There's thousands and thousands of licensed cultivators. There's thousands and thousands of license. There's more dispensaries than Starbucks in Oklahoma.
What?
So it just makes it really tough, right? And so for me as an entrepreneur, like, I had to make a decision to kind of like, maybe we should kind of just step back from this market just to let it
it's a bit
mature a little bit. And
yeah.
That was a tough one for me personally, right? Because it was like, is this a failure? Is this an L, right? And I struggled over that for about a year, to be honest with you. But like at the end of the day, simply put, it was like one of those situations. I was like, okay, it's you. It's not me.
Yes. Agreed.
You know what I mean? I was able to just kind of let go and be like, all right, cool.
That's a great point.
Our efforts were, as they should be, but like the market, is not really settled, right? And so, and that's what you deal with as a brand when you go into different markets, right? And so we learned so much from that process. Now when we go into different states, we kind of like look at how we're going to attack the situation completely differently.
Yeah.
Because of our experience in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and honestly, it's probably more like a see you later type of situation, because once they develop the industry a little more, because like you said, I can't believe that statistic, more dispensaries than Starbucks.
Yeah.
And it's not even rec.
It's not even rec.
So people, like, how are even, honestly, a little bit of a clusterfuck going on in Oklahoma, but yeah, props to you for knowing when to pivot and knowing when to hold them and fold them, because you definitely have something special here in Vegas.
Yes.
And your products are unbelievable. Major shout out to my favorite one in the culture line. I use this Joy Fuel on a regular basis for all of my topical pain needs, relaxation. JC uses it for headaches. Where do you put it for headaches?
I put it right here, just right on my temples, and then I'll put it back here on my neck.
Yeah. Encourages blood flow up to your blood-brain barrier. Some magic. What other favorite products should the Roll Gang give a shot?
So like, I should have brought you some of our full flower, but our cultivation that we work out of mainly is Solaris, and we work up with a couple others, but that's been our main one for the last 3.5 years. And we've been through a long process of different growers and really dialing in the process. And when we first got started, we just had one strain. I don't know if you knew that, but like
really,
for 2 years, I had one strain in the market. That was the only thing I was able to
what
sell.
strain?
91 Chem, crossed with VA skunk. By the way, it's an incredible strain. We still sell it today.
I need to try it.
It's fire. It's our highest testing strain that we have available. But the point that I'm getting at is now that we've kind of caught stride in the process of everything that's going on over there at Solaris with the growing team. They're crushing it right now, and we have almost up to 20 different strains available right now. So
wow,
yeah, we're really proud of that.
Decked out,
and we just dropped some new infused pre-rolls that are going to hit the market. I think like next week.
Let's go!
So
huge.
That'll be dope. And then we're working on some more. Like it's been a commitment of ours to stay on the path of making like creative cannabis products. So you'll see some more different like creative blends and pre-rolls coming out from us very soon.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less. Absolute icon in the cannabis industry, mogul out here in Vegas, Cali. You know, we getting down. Culture and Cannabis LV.com. So much great media too. Cannabis News Hub, Cannabis Content Hub, and you can check out the deck of products on there too. Culture and Cannabis LV.com.
Yes, sir, that's it.
And absolutely so excited to have the founder and owner, JC Coates, here with me this morning. But also, you're working on this new product that I'm super excited to ask about. Be More Hormone Replacement Therapy.
Yes.
So it's a super new idea to me. I was looking into it a little bit, but I'm still kind of fuzzy on it. Can you give me a little rundown?
Yeah, it's fuzzy to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I became passionate about it. And before I'm dead, you know what I mean? I'm going to create multiple businesses, right? And my commitment is what I learned from my baby, Culture and Cannabis, is that, the purpose thing that I talked about before. And so I wanted to stay along the lines of, creating businesses around things that give me purpose through, helping people get to a better place in life, right? And so that's what HRT is about. It's about helping people balance their hormones, right?
Yes.
And so
crucial.
The endocrine system and your hormones control everything in your body. And unfortunately, what Western medicine doesn't really, they just kind of skip over it because there's just a lot of problems with the traditional Western medicine right now. And I don't think you have to go too far to really find that out, right? And if you want to take an empathy approach here, for the doctors and for the industry as a whole, it's expensive being a doctor. Like if you want to have your own practice and all this stuff, and you want to build a hospital, it's expensive,
and
right?
time consuming.
And so what does that create, right? It creates a culture that's driven by profits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like the health and wellness kind of stuff sometimes takes a back seat to getting the doctor's bills paid.
100%.
And so like from an empathy standpoint, it's like, okay, I kind of get that, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, where do I go to actually get real help? You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
And so like just to take that step one, bring that curtain back one step further. When you go to your general practitioner and they send you to get your labs or your blood work, that's how they determine what medicine that they prescribe to you.
Right.
So you go in, you're like, oh, I'm feeling this way, or I'm feeling that way, or I'm just here for my yearly visit, right? The first thing you do is they send you for your blood work, right? And the blood work markers that they send you for is a select panel. They don't check everything. They just do a select panel that reflect the markers that correlate to the prescriptions that they can prescribe to you. That's covered by your insurance, and that's how they make money.
Yeah,
right?
Like the ones that they're partnered with too.
And so they don't even. So just think about that for a second.
Fucked up.
You know what I mean? And so like things like your hormones that are attributed to controlling everything in your body, they don't typically test for them, right? And the reason why is because a lot of times it's not covered by your insurance. And so there's not a profitability marker there for the doctor, right? So what happens is for men in their 30s or whatever, they go in, they're like, doctor, I just feel like I'm exhausted. I'm feeling like unmotivated. I'm feeling like a little bit
anxious, depressed.
They will not even check your hormones. What they do is they're like, oh, here, take this antidepressant. Right? And this,
like a hard drug.
And it's not, and
they make the most profit.
That's not natural. Yeah. And so like, I was able to learn all those things and, learn the benefits of testosterone in men and women's bodies and all the benefits that it can create for them. Not just having muscles and all that stuff, but mental clarity, more energy, higher libido, faster recovery, better sleep. All these things are available, and through TRT, or testosterone replacement therapy. And I was like, wow, this is a crazy. And so I had my bouts with my hormones were low, right, and I was like struggling in all these different ways, and I couldn't figure it out. And I went to go get my testosterone checked. I'm 48, right? It had declined. And so I was able to balance it through doctor-prescribed testosterone, and it just was a major game changer for me.
Wow.
And so I was even to look, and I'll take you one step further, right? And I'll just leave it at this, but over the last just 2 decades, right? Just the last 20 years, it's a fact globally that everyone's testosterone levels have declined. That's due to our food sources, through our lifestyle, and all these things. And so everyone is being affected by this, right? Everyone is, is just being affected by that. And a lot of the general practitioners won't even check for that, right? And so that's what our company does, right? We do a direct check for your panel for your hormones, right? That's the first thing we do. We check to see if you're a candidate, to see if we can help you raise your hormone levels to the levels that they were like when you were in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
And then we take it from there. And then if you're a candidate, then the way that I set it up was all through telehealth. I like to get my groceries delivered. I don't necessarily like to just wait in line. So going to the doctor sucks, right?
Right.
So it's all telehealth, right? And so you get your blood work done. That's the only time you have to do something. And then after that, you do your doctor visit, your consult through your phone.
Wow.
They discuss your blood markers, and then they tell you your treatment plan, and you sign off on the treatment plan, and then the medicine is mailed to your house.
Easy,
right?
Yeah. And honestly crucial. Like, people don't even understand. I mean, it's not people, it's me too. Like, hormones are the driver for all of our emotion and the way our brain functions. And I mean, we just I've never had a hormone reading. I'm sure 90% of people haven't even had it screened to see if it's all balanced out. And just with technology ever increasing, and this is just something that we can afford to do, because it'll better our mental health. And honestly, what's more important than mental health? We got to take care of ourselves and find ways to feel good about it. And that honestly sounds pretty awesome. And I love how futuristic it is. You just go get your blood drawn, and then boom, the rest is...
So what we do is we have a consult, and then you get your paperwork and all that stuff, and then we schedule your blood work, and then so you just go. And what we did is we partnered with the largest blood labs company on the West Coast. So they have them all over California, Nevada. So I guarantee you there's one 10 minutes from your house, wherever you live, right? And so we partnered with them, and what we did is you could just go and get your own blood work done, and you can pay them. Right, but what we did is we negotiated a group rate, so we get lower rates for people, and we didn't really build a margin in for that, right? So we pass on that to the patient or the client.
Wow.
So you get your hormones reading at a great price, right? And then after that, then you have your doctor consult, everything's mailed to your house.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, check it out. I mean, if you guys feel like your hormones are imbalanced, because it's honestly. It is a sensation, and I've met people that are straight up will tell me, I just feel like my hormones are out of whack.
Yeah.
And that is a crazy sensation to have, and not one to be okay with. I mean, what does it hurt to check it out and see if you're a candidate? I know that everything you put your heart into, because you're about the natural, you're about the remedies and getting your body to a great place to, cash the checks that your brain is writing, and your brain's got to be sharp enough to write some good ones. So
it does,
yeah. And be more
HRT.
HRT, hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be there's gonna be a stake for it in the future. I'm super hyped to hear about the new venture, and honestly, one of the most motivational individuals I've ever met. Like you make these reels in the gym, and they just get me fired up. And all of your events and your promos, the way you honestly, you're like a public speaking someone I really look up to, a role model that I like model my game after, you know what I mean? How, like, there's some fire in you. You know what I mean? Talk to me about that for a minute, because it's special, it's unique, and it's a big part of who you are and why I look up to you so much. Is that self-desire, you know?
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I don't know, man. I had kind of a rough trajectory when I was younger. I had been like caught with like drugs and alcohol, like weed and alcohol, I should say, when I was like 13, and it created this pattern with my parents that would put me in and out of treatment centers from the time I was 13 to 18. So I didn't graduate from high school because I was in rehab. I got a GED, but it kind of created this. I missed out on like all my friends, and it was like it created this really toxic relationship with me and drugs and alcohol. And I went on this really bad kind of like path unintentionally,
Yeah, you were
I was
so
just a
young.
happy-go-lucky. I was just doing this. I didn't really realize the path that I was taking was going to end up where it did, And I always had so much fire, and I always wanted to be great, right? I always wanted to be something more, And but I just I wouldn't let myself, for so many years, And I would see other people be successful, and it was just kind of like I think I got to a place where it was like I was counted out, I was looked over, people gave up on me, and I was giving up on myself, right? And I just couldn't accept that, because I knew that there was something more that I was supposed to do, And it might sound cliche, but and I'm skimming over a lot of the details, but for me, wanting to pull out of that and just having something to prove. I think a lot of people told me that I couldn't do things when I was younger, and I would believe those things, And then when I got older, I kind of started to realize that just because somebody says something, it's not necessarily true. And I just I've always kind of lived in this underdog type of way, And I
Great
don't
headspace to be in.
And then here I am, I want to be a business owner. I want to be an entrepreneur, right? I'm a drug addict. I'm a high school dropout. I'm a single father. People, looked over me, gave up on me. And then now I want to go do this. You know how those people would treat me, right? Not they would just kind of laugh at me, right? And so it's well, I'll show you, right? And I would go home and I would read and I would research and I would figure out how to do things in a certain way. And I think just having that underdog mentality and always being willing to just get out and get it, and it's out there for you, but you have to fight to go get it, has always been kind of what has driven me.
Yeah. And that's honestly, it's a tough mentality, because you have to become friends with adversity.
Yes.
You have to become friends with the moments that make you feel the smallest, and understand that that's the moment where you gotta fight the hardest. Not because I'm a true believer in the 1% a day thing, but that 1% is much harder when you're not in the headspace for it.
Yeah.
And I can't even believe, I honestly can't even wrap my mind around it, because your energy is so clean and pure, and it feels like you've had it your whole life, You're kind of at this super high place in your career and the way people know you for, that you wouldn't be able to tell you started off that way. You know, you could have made it clean the whole way through and been to the spot you're at and be proud of it. You know what I mean? It's kind of shocking to, like, but you just kind of you put your head down and go to work. Yeah. That's the trick.
I mean, you have to be hungry, right? And I think, you know, like when I moved to Vegas from Oklahoma City, and the story goes with $500 in a dream and a drug habit, right? And it took me a long time to get it all sorted out. But one of the first jobs that I had, and you have to remember, I'm out here, I don't have any money, I don't have any family around me, and I have my son with me, and his mom's not in his life. So it's just me and him, nobody else. And then I have this job as a club promoter, and they would give me these flyers. It's funny that I still print flyers for my business. And it would be like the club for, like, you know, marquee. And they'd be like, put your initials right here, and we'll pay you $2 a person for every person that comes back with your initials on it. And see you later. And then so you would just go stand on a street corner, and if people didn't go to the club, you know, you wouldn't make any money, and I couldn't pay my rent, and I couldn't take care of my kid, and I wouldn't be able to survive. So here I am on a street corner, kid from Oklahoma City, drop out high school, you know what I mean, don't know anybody, and I have these stack of flyers, and I'm standing on the corner of, like, Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo, right? Right. And I'm trying to pitch things to strangers, right? I had to become a monster. You know what I mean? I had to, like, learn how to, like, make something out of nothing. I had to learn how to, like, eat, like hunt. You know what I'm saying? Literally. And so, like, I think that, like, it helped me a lot, you know?
That's a grind. You know? Like, that's the ultimate, like, lumberjack moment. Just chopping the fuck out of the wood.
And I ended up
depends on it.
I ended up becoming a really good promoter. Like, sometimes I did that for, like, 6 years, and I became, like, one of the top promoters in Vegas through that process. It's crazy to go back and think about it.
Well, no doubt. I mean, it's just, some people are just born with the type of magnetic energy that draw individuals to them. You're one of those people, you know, one of sincerely from the bottom of my heart, one of my biggest role models in the industry. Absolutely iconic to have you here for Motivational Monday. Because, I mean, the motivation you provide me with and all your followers is amazing, truly. And if you guys don't, at jc.coates, Coats, on Instagram, he absolutely providing, amazing cannabis content, an amazing cannabis brand, and Be More, super lit. You guys gotta check that out for sure. But honestly, this dude is just one of the OGs and an industry professional, ride or die. I'll keep deriving my fuel from you, my man, and the Roll Gang too, for sure. But do you have one, by chance, an original, some type, I don't mean to put you on the spot, some kind of JC Coates motivational quote, like some kind of thing that just...
You know, this might hit, it might not, but, like, it really helped me, right? And it's like, you know, work harder on yourself than you do at your job.
Work harder on yourself than you do at your job. Yeah. It's the best investment.
It is the best investment because at the end of the day, you're eventually going to lose the job. You're going to get fired, right? And you're going to end up in a place where, like, what do I do now? But if you've been investing in yourself through that process, you'll have something to work with, you know?
Wow. Absolute raw power. You know, honestly, that you don't know, like, those are masterful words, and honestly ones I think everybody can live by and feel safe by. Gave me goosebumps a little bit, but yeah, always the best investment to work on yourself. It's amazing, magical, the amount of love you spread, but, you know, the person you love most, I gotta love most, Roll Gang gotta love most, is that mirror man or woman, or or whoever you may be.
Because just really quick, it doesn't have to be you versus you. People say it's got, people say this all the time. It's like popular. It's you versus you, but like it needs to be like you need to become your own best ally.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Honestly.
So it's like let's get away from those like it's you versus you. Let's turn yourself into a person that's actually your best ally, your best partner. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Because then no matter what, they'll be there for you.
Exactly.
If you're there for them, they'll be there for you. I mean, it is trippy. It is trippy a little bit, But like, you have to get on into the depths of that's philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
That's raw philosophy, and it'll lead to the most moral gratification. Because obviously, you're chopping the wood. You're where I'm trying to hopefully get myself someday, and I'm gonna take notes and keep chopping wood too. Because man, it's an awesome ride, and love to see you doing it. Amazing to wake and bake with you. But one more quick segment before we get you on out.
Okay.
We've got the quick rips, which is 5 rapid fire questions. They're basically preferential, your favorite this, would you rather that, and we'll make them quick. Some quick rips.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Quick rips with J.C. Coates, ladies and gentlemen, the king of culture and cannabis, my absolute guy, and I mean, motivational master himself. All right, question 1 on quick rips. Your favorite Las Vegas casino?
The El Cortez.
Hey, El Cortez. That's style. 2, your favorite terpene?
We'll go with Mercy.
Hey, Mercy. Gotta love Mercy. All right, 3, favorite consumption method?
I like to do bong rips.
Yeah?
I like to do bong rips.
Bong rips. I love bong rips too. All right, 4, favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Right now I'm watching Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. I love that one. Yeah. All right, last one. If you could have a sesh, if you could rip some bong with anyone in human history, alive or dead,
okay,
who would it be?
I don't know. Michael Jordan comes to mind.
Yo, yeah, okay. All right. A sesh with the GOAT, bong rips with Jordan. Yo, he'd hook you up with some kick-ass shoes too.
Yeah,
while you're there. Yo, but JC, thank you so much for rolling through, my man. Love Wake and Bake with you, and every time I get to see you, sesh with you, great time, great role model. Just keep doing what you do, because I mean, it's really awesome.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you rolling through. Roll gang! Thanks for tapping in. We will see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll keep JC will be back, hopefully with Leilani soon, maybe. But I'll see you tomorrow morning. Terpene Tuesday.